Now, Liz Truss has announced her resignation as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, making her the shortest-serving Prime Minister in Britain's history. In a speech delivered outside 10 Downing Street, Truss said that she will be in office until a new successor is chosen.
I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
Now, her tenure lasted all of 45 days. She announced that the Conservative Party will choose the next leader next week. Truss is also the fourth Conservative Prime Minister to resign in the last 6 years. Truss may be remembered for just how short her grip on power was. She was on the back foot from the moment her mini-budget was presented on the 23rd of September. The budget caused the UK financial markets and the pound to go into a tailspin. It was criticised by her own party members, by the opposition, the IMF and even US President Joe Biden. The budget fiasco forced her to sack her finance minister, Kwasi Kwarteng, last Friday. His replacement, Jeremy Hunt, proceeded to rip the rest of the budget to shreds, and with that, the countdown to her resignation had begun. So what were Truss's achievements during her month and a half in office? Well, she oversaw the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. Her successor will be the first Prime Minister that King Charles III will confirm. The Conservative Party will choose their next leader as early as next week. And so the question is, who is next? Now, is this the time for Rishi's rise? The former Chancellor lost to Truss in the last round of the prime ministerial race. It also rubbished Trussonomics early on. The present Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, had also backed Sunak last time round. If Hunt doesn't contest, then how far will his support go? If not Sunak, then perhaps Ben Wallace could become the Prime Minister. The Defence Secretary held on to his post in both the Johnson and Truss cabinets. He is also popular for his uncompromising stance on Ukraine. Then we have Penny Mordaunt. She placed third in the last leadership race. Mordaunt was appointed as the leader of the House of Commons when Truss became Prime Minister. She gained plaudits for standing up for Truss just days ago when the Prime Minister did not show up in the Parliament. Rounding off the list is former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. His ouster was a sour affair. Reports say that he doesn't want the top job again. Those close to him have said that he would rather make money as a speaker. But will Johnson be able to resist a chance to rewrite his legacy? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. The Truss premiership has left the Conservative Party at its weakest in decades. The Labour Party will be hoping to capitalise on Tory troubles now.
As Prime Minister until...
Now, for more on this, we were earlier joined by Mark Brolin, who is an economist, geopolitical strategist and author. Let's listen in.
Since the referendum in 2016, you can see the leadership contest as you can see this Conservative Party is split between its two main factions. You have the establishment faction, and then you have the people's faction. And people don't speak so much about these two factions, but they are certainly there. It has been a tribal ping-pong game ever since. And of course, you had at first you had Boris, then you had Theresa May, and now we had an establishment candidate. They have taken turns, and now when the Liz Truss has been seen as more of the people's wing since she was building her platform under Boris. So now we have the establishment candidate back, and they are more in power, and that's why Rishi Sunak is seen as a strong name. But I think his problem is that he's still seen as a tribal figure because he's much more an establishment figure. Just as Boris Johnson, he has stronger backing than you might think if you listen to UK media. But his problem will be the opposite problem of Rishi Sunak's. He was also seen very tribal. That's why Ben Wallace might be a dark horse coming up, because he's not as tribally littered as the other ones.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.